This is episode 78 of Noodle Time. Welcome back. Here with me is a big fan of schedules, OSG. How's it going, sir?
What up, bro? What up? Just chilling. Man City plays on Monday. We're recording on Sunday again as usual, so I don't get them till tomorrow. Man City women won, so I got that this morning. So that was good, but nothing else is going on, man. Just Dynamo and preseason games right now. The girls have taken off and headed towards Tucson, Arizona. So preseason is underway for both sides, man. What's going on with you?
Oh, pretty good. Yesterday we were in a Dynamo talk with the Designated Players podcast guys, and it was a good chat. I definitely recommend checking it out. They haven't posted it yet, but we're definitely gonna share that as soon as it's available. And just now, while I was preparing for the episode, I was actually watching the Chelsea game. They lost 4-2 against Wolves, and it's their present situation there, but I don't feel bad for them. They got all that money to spend, and yeah, that's probably another conversation for another time. but yeah, for this episode in particular, we're gonna be chatting Dash since we've been holding up for them for a couple of weeks because of news, and we got a lot to talk about now because the schedule came out a couple weeks ago, and the preseason roster came out this week, and we're also gonna talk about the news involving the Dash's new technical director. The news from Theolo Hughes was we're gonna get into later in the episode. And yeah, with that out of the way, we can go ahead and get started with our Dash preseason episode. Earlier on, I did mention that OSG was a fan of schedules. That's because, as we all know, the NWSL is pretty wacky when it comes to the scheduling, and they just happened to announce it a couple weeks ago. And before we get into that, we're definitely gonna go ahead and get into the preseason roster because it's a thing that I usually look at the most when it comes to the Dash preseason camp. For the most part, as we all know, they involve non-roster invites and also players that are coming back from last year, and also it let us know if any players reported to preseason camp or not. So anything else you want to add before we get started? Because the one thing I'm looking forward to is like the non-roster invites.
Nah, man. I think we hit it. Let's hit it. Let's hit the schedule. Let's hit the non-roster invites. Let's a couple other players to talk about. That's on the list. Yeah, man. Let's get into it. I'm good.
Yeah. So the Dash roster. The one thing that I found interesting is that the Dash only shared this roster with media. They haven't really made up a post about the specific roster. They just like share that list of media so they can share it to everyone else, which I found pretty odd because they usually also share a press release to the public, but it's not available yet. We only got it via email. But I do have the 29 player preseason roster with me, and each one we can definitely check it out. And most of the names you're gonna recognize, and we only have three non roster invites this year, which we'll get into. So we can go ahead and get started with the goalkeepers. We do have 4 on the list. You definitely heard of them: Emily Alvarado, Jane Campbell, Savannah Madden, and Heather Hinz, the draft pick. So obviously there's going to be competition for the second string. I don't think anyone's going to be Jane Campbell's spot now. And it as we already mentioned, it's pretty much a turnaround season for Jane Campbell and team MVP. Nobody can take her out. So at this point, it's pretty much just a matter of who's going to be the second string.
No, I think it's a matter who's going to be third string. I think Emily Alvarado is going to be second string, and then Savannah Madden and Hines will fight for that third string and hope to hit the field once during the season, which probably they won't. So they'll have to see. But it'll be Jane Campbell and Emily Alvarado's. But at least Emily Alvarado will be with Mexico when Mexico leaves. So that'll open up an opportunity maybe for whoever wins that third string spot.
No, yeah, I didn't want to take a stab at Emily. It was mostly just because at this point it's kind of like you guys can still contend for the second string spot, but at the same time it's gonna be pretty tough for them for Savannah and Heather. So
Yeah.
we'll see how that goes. Like, obviously, there's a lot of preseasons to go through with them, and we'll wish them the best. So, for defenders, we do have 10 defenders in the preseason roster, and there's two non-roster invites we can get into right now. So, the first one being Madison Asen. She registered for this year's NWSL draft, but was not picked. She's coming out of Xavier, and she can play a forward, a midfield, and defender. So it's one of those players that kind of like the ones that we've seen in the draft this year that can play variety positions. But she's listed as a defender, so it's more than likely that the Dash may utilize her that way specifically. But I was interested to see like how that she was pretty much just highlighted on the draft as a late addition because usually like some of the players can just like assign it like register for that draft, but eventually she wasn't picked. So the Dash are giving her a second chance to prove herself, and that's what I like to see. And the other non-roster
Yeah,
invite being a defender, yeah,
she's strictly a defender. She did 1 year at Xavier. She did 4 years Stanford. She didn't get a lot of playing time, but she played. She played. She did not get a lot of playing time at all. So she's just getting the opportunity to perform, and she made it. She 5 years of college, a good program. She's she made it through the draft, so scouts seen her, so they're like, hey, she's decent, so they're giving her opportunity to see if she can fit in. But like I said, as a defender, which is a hard place to win a spot from, anyways. But maybe she is versatile, like you said, playing multiple positions and can be utilized. But I don't know. It just depends on that one. It depends on how she performs out on the field.
yeah, definitely. And I feel like it can just be like her secondary positions, but like I said, I feel like it's just gonna be a defender for the time being.
Yeah.
If we were able to like commit to her, that is. So the other defender that's also a non-roster invite is like Croy Soto. She actually played for the KC Current last season, and I did not know much about her until I saw a report that someone else retweeted off my tweet because when I initially tweeted the preseason roster, like someone else shared some thoughts about Croy Soto, and she looked like a pretty solid player. It looks like the current did not hold on to her for this season, which is gonna get another chance with the Dash to prove herself to see if we can get her back in the NWSL.
So she's one of those. She went to University of Oregon. She's been in the league for 1 year, like you said. Played for Kansas City Current. Was involved in 12 matches. Didn't have anything to do on the offensive side of the ball. And it was KC Current. So I guess she just was somebody who just didn't fit their style or something like that over there, because she played 12 games, but she was a rookie too at the same time. So it's probably just one of those where she didn't fit over there. So she'll get the opportunity here. We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, it's a defender role. It's one of those positions that's hard to come by because we've got our starting back line already. I think right back is probably the only thing that we need to figure out and see who's there. So maybe that's what's going on. But she's also a center back too at the same time. So uh, that I don't know if that helps her. She's can transition out to the outside, right back or left back. But we may need her at center back, because if you also look at the name Ali Prysock, disappointed in this girl right now. Uh,
I,
you know,
I, I bet.
she's still enjoying vacation.
Yep.
So she hasn't even reported to camp yet. The girls have already flown off. They're starting preseason scrimmages. So I don't know what's going on with her. I'd be interested to find out what the heck's going on with her. Is she actually still on a allowed leave and just taking a late vacation or whatever? Or is she planning on moving on to somewhere else or something else? Or I don't know. It's just weird timing that she's still on vacation when NWSL preseason's kicking up.
No, yeah. As for the other defenders that are listed in the preseason roster, we do have Elisa Bourgeois. She was just drafted for the Dash. Chappie, she's currently on maternity leave, so we may not see her for a bit. Desiano's there. Josiah Harris, Natalie Jacobs, Katie Lynn. Cody Pearson, as you just mentioned, Ali Prysock, and Sarah Puddingham coming in from last year. So those were the defenders. Midfielders, we do have the remaining non-roster invite, which is Eris Freifeld. I'm particularly interested with her because she is coming off Crossfire Premier, which is one of the club teams in the ECNL, and she already has been called up to the youth national teams for the US, and she looks like a pretty good prospect. But I've noticed that she's been bouncing around clubs now and then, so she's pretty young. She's gonna get plenty of chances in the future, but I feel like right now it's a good chance to prove herself, and I'm interested to see if the Dash has actually take a chance on her.
All right, so you say she's pretty young. She's 16. She just had a birthday in December. So she's
Yeah,
pretty. She is pretty young. So yeah, you're right. 16. She's played for Surf as well. Like you said, U.S. Youth Women's National Team. At the same time, she's a winger. She can play that outside mid position and get forward. And this is not her first time that she's come and practiced with the Houston Dash. She did it back in September as well. So it's like somebody that maybe has potential. So I don't know. I could pry into it and see see if I get a response back. But uh, interesting to see what she could do. She's familiar with the team, obviously. So and the new coach even allowed her to come in and be a non-roster invitee as well. So she's on somebody's radar. So I don't know if she's with the team anymore or if she's still practicing with the team right now. That's the only thing I could not figure out. That wasn't very clear what she was. But yeah, 16, very young. Probably obviously homeschooling, so that if she's good enough to make the first team, then obviously she bring her on. She's obviously a good player and talented player, so if it's somebody that could help out and be a necessity to the team, then I'm for it too. This one not as hard as a position to fill as the defender position, so this one might be easier. But again, she's young, so that might be something that kind of makes it harder for her to get in unless she's just a straight up raw talent that's just immaculate. But she could be. I don't know. I haven't seen her play.
no, yeah, and it will definitely be good to see her play at least. But we'll get to the schedule since it's kind of like a dynamo situation where we get information about the games, but we're not able to see it. But we'll get into that later.
Yeah.
And as for the remaining midfielders, they're all reported to camp. Andresa, I will see coming back from last year. Uh, Bill Bright, Sophie Hurst, Sophie Schmidt, just retiring from the Canadian national team. Venezuelan, obviously playing for the Jamaican national team last year. Barb, Barba and Kiki Van Satten just drafted by the Dash in the last NWSL drafts. Probably I'm still arguing about the draft pick that I'm looking forward to the most. I think it's her, but I'm still arguing about that.
Kiki?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, obviously, because that's the only draft pick for midfield, anyways. But yeah, so you're looking forward to her. That means she's going to kick Barb out of the way right there. I don't know. Nah.
As long as her competition, she's just gonna get better. And I
Yeah,
meant
yeah,
Bar, by the way.
yeah. For real. Man.
Yeah. As for the forwards, we do have 8 forwards like registered as well. Michelle Alosi, it's her obviously. She's our
hmm
definitely our big player from last year. Uh, Ryan Gary, she's on maternity leave now, and Paul Gramaglia, we're not gonna be seeing her this year since
So,
she's gonna be
so,
yeah.
so Ryan Gary's girl. You haven't been with that man that long. What are you doing? What are you doing? Dang. So yeah, so she's still early in her pregnancy, so she's gonna miss the entire season. So you won't see her at all this season. Just like you said, the other different Chapman, you won't see her. You might see her late in the season. Uh, it just depends on. I'm not too sure on her birth date, but you know, uh, don't count on it. But yeah, so neither one of those women you will see this season because of maternity leave. So, but damn, Ryan Gary's. But oh well, it's all right.
No, yeah, they're gonna be. I'm sure they're gonna be gone for a while, and it's important for them to just stay back and take care of their families, especially with like uh their kids coming in. So I wish them the best, and obviously that everything goes well with that process. And
I know she's
and yeah,
still with
so
the team, because you see the videos that Dash have been posting. So she's still at training, and I don't know how much she's participating in training, but she's still at camp. She's still with the girls, so she's still a part. She's still doing her part with the team, and I guess as long as she can until it's really where she starts showing, and then you start carrying the baby bump around. Maybe you shouldn't be running around in cleats anymore. But
right,
yeah, I don't know. I'm not a woman that can carry a baby around. That's a natural athlete too. So we'll see. But yeah, she's still with the team. She's still participating in the team, and she's she may take over that role again, where she's the face of the team on the media side of it, where she's the one doing the interviews, the one giving interviews, the one carrying the mic around practice, the one messing with the girls. So look forward to some shenanigans this year from Ryan Gary's.
yeah, no, yeah, and as I was saying previously, Pau Gramaglia, we're not gonna be seeing her this year, uh, as well. Like only because she's currently still along with Red Bull down in South America. So still playing. Just that she's not gonna be with us this year again. So we'll see how long that project lasts. Since I want to see her back in Houston at some point.
Yeah, I wanted to see her too. I thought she was ready to come back and play with us, but okay, whatever. Another year for the loan. So shoot, I don't know. Maybe it'll be a situation. She comes back, she's the savior, or she'll come back and be like, "Hey, we don't need you. Ship off." But damn, I hope we can use her, or she comes back and still has time on her contract or whatever. Because shoot, what are we doing with her?
Yeah, and still going down the list, CC Kaiser obviously just getting traded to
Yeah,
Houston for Nichelle Prince. Yuki Nagasato, probably the player I'm looking forward to the most this year, only because she's like a big veteran in the NWSL. I just signed as a free agent, so I'm looking forward to that. Diana Ordonez, of course. Avery Patterson, she was just drafted by the Dash. Maria Sanchez, Bone Beastback, and Amanda West, which was also drafted.
man, I don't know. Every time I hear Avery Patterson, I just feel like that name just kind of clicks, and it's just going to say that that's a name that's going to score some goals coming off the bench here during the season. Some late bangers, some late winners, or something like that. I don't know. I just feeling it when I hear that name, and just to see the profile player that she is. So man, I'm hoping that's a sleeper right there. That rookie.
No, yeah, that was the roster. One of the things that I also wanted to discuss was uh, the preseason schedule as well.
So before you
And
hop to the schedule, let's
yeah,
finish with the roster. Let's finish with the roster. Okay, so are you happy with that roster? Would you expect us to continue to be looking out there in the market to bring in players in, or are you content with what we're running with right now?
I'm pretty much okay with what we have right now. When I was gonna try to transition to the preseason schedule was to just bring the fact of the matter is that we're not gonna be seeing them in person until the season opener, and I was pretty upset about that. Like only because we're not gonna see what the coach is the type of like lineup the coach is gonna bring out or the type of plan up until that specific opener, and I was hoping to be better prepared for that. So it's kind of disappointing, but like on paper, we do have it. It does look like a pretty good roster. It's definitely gonna come down to how's gonna get cut by the start of the season because it will get cut, and yeah, I'm just gonna wait to see what happens from here. But like I said, I'm kind of disappointed that I won't be able to like see how each player plays even before the cut.
Right, yeah. This not getting to see preseason is kind of disappointing for us diehards who like to watch and see and actually like focus on players and be like, okay, she looks good. She looks good. Yeah. Oh, she's slacking a little bit. Is she hurt? Is she limping? Oh my God, no. But uh yeah, so yeah, not till the a while for the season to start. So we have a lot of preseason, but man, um I don't I'm looking at the roster and I'm like, okay, my defense is the same, so I'm trusting them across the board, 100%. So I mean, I got to fill my right back out, but I'm not too worried about that per se. I wouldn't mind, if Ali Prasak wasn't off vacation and it was part of the team, maybe she could earn her center back, and Jacobs could go to the right side, and then you're gonna have Puttingham on the left side, and then obviously Lind in the middle. But I don't know. We'll see what they're gonna do. I think this is also just gonna be a three back system at the same time with some running wing backs out there playing left and right back. So maybe that's why we have so many defenders because they are so versatile. They can get up the field. So it'll be interesting, man. So I would not be surprised if there still is another signing to come before this preseason ends. But as is, I think it's going to be a tough season. But we'll see. We'll see. We'll play it. We'll play it by ear. We'll play it day to day.
And I think that the three in the back system is gonna be the one for the dash. And like I said previously, it's just a matter of like me seeing it in person to see how it works. Like before the season starts, it definitely will be ideal to see if it's efficient, but we're not gonna be able to see that unless the coach says so before the season starts. So we'll have to check it out at some point. I'm definitely gonna be there for the season opener, but it would just be nice to like see the team before that. But it
Yeah,
is what it is at this
man,
point.
and it'll kind of be up to us in the media to ask those questions at the preseason press conferences and see what we can get out of them. How's the team lining up? How's the team working out? Is that back line of 3, 4, or 5? What are you thinking, Coach? Okay. Well, I can't tell you. I don't want to give out too much right now, but yeah, whatever. It works. So, but yeah, I'm. I just care. Yeah, not ready for the season to go, but ready for preseason to kick off so we can just hear the little tidbits about the scrimmages that got going on. And, uh, whoops, about the little scrimmages they got going on and see how players are going. So while we're speaking of scrimmages, I'm going to go ahead and read off the schedule that you got listed over here. So they'll be in Tucson right now for the next week, I think till the 12th. And they'll be playing Racing Louisville, University of Arizona. There might be another one in there since they're there so long, but that'll be a couple ones that are closed. Everything's closed door, of course, so there's no video. There'll be video, but we'll be lucky to see clips, just kind of like you are with the Dynamo right now. And then we come back home, and then 216 we play Costa Rica at Houston Sports Park, and then on 224, which is a Saturday, and it looks like it's going to be the last one. Well, sorry, I take that back. Against University of Texas, Houston Sports Park as well, closed door. I wouldn't mind getting in as media right there and just witnessing that game. But after that, it looks like they're going to go to Bradenton, Florida, and play Washington and Kansas City and at the IMG Academy before closing out the preseason, flying back home, and getting ready for the first game of the season.
So yeah, and like what you just said, like all the games are gonna be behind closed doors, and depending on the ones on HSP, I also doubt they're gonna let media in, but we'll know if that's the case, and we can probably just try and get in there to see if we can get a glimpse of the team, which will be pretty good. But for now, it's just a matter of not being able to see them until the season opener. And speaking of a season opener, we gotta talk about the schedule because NWSL finally dropped the schedule 2 weeks ago.
I know Deanna
And
Ordonez is happy for the season opener.
no, yeah, because we're our first game is gonna be in North Carolina on the road, so it's gonna be a big one.
Yeah. I saw a clip where she was kind of all right, against North Carolina. Let's go. All right, she's happy. So let's go beat up North Carolina. Get the season started off on the right foot with some bangers.
Oh yeah, and as we just mentioned, the season opener is going to be on the road against North Carolina Courage. That's going to be on March 16, and the home opener is going to be on the 23rd. And both days are on Saturday, so it should be pretty good for the turnout, particularly the game against Racing Louisville back in Houston the week after, and we'll be there for sure, no matter what. The other thing that we had to highlight is just the fact that the broadcast information changed drastically for this year. Most of the games are not going to be on Paramount Plus like last year, since uh, it's going to be substantial difference. So all the games are no longer going to be on Paramount Plus, but rather in like four to five different channels. And I feel like it's kind of uh, slightly bad to like just keep a track of those, but obviously good for the league since there's gonna be like more exposure to national TV. But kind of bad because we have to look back at the information to see which channels were. And this list actually from Maggie from Fox 26. She pretty much broke down the um, the TV or stream schedule for the Dash. So we actually have one game on Big CBS, which is gonna be I guess Casey Current on May 5th, and three other games in our schedule are gonna be either on ESPN or ESPN2, and three of those games are gonna be on Prime Video. So a subscription to Prime is gonna be required there as well. And seven of those games are going to be on Ion TV, and the remaining games are going to be streaming live on NWSL Plus, which is the new streaming service from the new NWSL, which is free. And and yeah, like I said previously, it's gonna be a chore to like look back and make sure we got the right streaming service for to watch each game, because unlike last year where like all the games, most if not all the games were literally sitting on Paramount Plus for you to watch, and it was just a matter of like staying there or switching to a CBS Sports when needed, which was only a couple of games. But yeah, kind
Hey,
of
well,
disappointed. I'm not sure what you got, LSG.
yeah, well, with that, like you said, it's a lot, and it's a lot for people to follow, man. So just if you're following us, follow our tweets. Just stay tuned to our tweets, or follow the Houston Dash. You'll see their tweet because we usually when they post about their game, they tell you what channel it's on. Well, we can do the same thing where when we were telling you about the game the week of, we'll make sure to mention, especially in our edit that we release. We'll mention what channel that it's on, so to make sure that they all can find it and you know where to watch the game if you're not going to the stadium to watch it. If it's a home game, if it's a away game, I understand if you're not going to that one. So, but yeah, we'll try to help you out. But otherwise, follow the Dash. They'll always post, or we'll just make sure to post it in our edits whenever we are just giving y'all alerted news.
So yeah, just going back to the schedule, it's going to be 26 games total. And as we previously mentioned in another episode, the NWSL Challenge Cup is not going to be what it was anymore. It's just going to be two teams competing for that specific trophy, and everyone else is just going to be playing the regular season and obviously the international break for the Olympics. So it's just going to be those 26 games for the Dash, and obviously if they make playoffs, that is. So definitely interesting how things like just like change like that. But obviously with all the expansion teams coming in, they had to like adjust the schedule a bit.
So you got some Friday nighters in there, you got some Saturdays, and you got some Sunday nooners in there. I think we got three or four Sunday nooners for some reason. Even when the girls saw that, they're like, "Oh my
Yeah,
god, why?" So I know there's one in Chicago that's at noon, right in the middle of July. At Gotham at noon, at Washington at noon. Jeez, so I thought we had one at home. Oh yeah, there it is against KC. That 5-5 game against KC. That's at noon. So
That's gross. Yeah,
Woo!
and
Yeah.
that's definitely done. I'm sure that's definitely done for national
TV,
TV
TV, yeah, TV
restrictions
purposes.
because the one that you just mentioned that's gonna be the one that's gonna be on big CBS, and the other two that I just noticed that they're gonna be on the road like back to back for the Dash. They're both gonna be on ESPN too. So more than anything, it's NWSL moving things around to make sure the games are on those networks on national TV. And but it's got a little bit disappointing because it's it's definitely early, you know. And yeah,
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I'm looking at the schedule. This one's going to work out for me because Dynamo are at home. So I'll be in Houston for that game the night before and then just got to spend the night and then the Dasher at noon. So that one actually works out perfectly. And I'll actually just probably just stay downtown and just friggin' it won't make a difference where I stay when I go to Houston. But that one works out perfect. Dynamo and Dash are home that weekend. Dash Dynamo at 7:30 on Saturday, and then Dash at noon on Sunday. So boom, I'll be a fan on Saturday night, and I'll be media on Sunday afternoon, I guess, or noon afternoon. Yeah,
no, yeah,
yeah, noon, yeah. But man, I'm looking at the
but
schedule. I'm looking at the schedule, man, and like it's a it's a pretty long schedule, especially with that little break that they're going to give with the Olympics. We don't end till November friggin' 2nd is the last day for the friggin' regular season, and then the playoffs start. So it's crazy. Well, luckily we don't do an MLS style playoffs, so they'll go into those one and dones real quick with the 16 team or however many, not 16, 8 teams that make the playoffs, and they'll get it over with pretty quick. But game number 3, we play the expansion team at Bay. We'll be at uh, Bay FC. That's game number 3, and then game number 6, we travel to Utah to play Utah. So we get to travel to their place before they get to travel here to play the expansion team. But check out the schedule, y'all. I'm sure y'all seen it if you haven't already. There's going to be some good ones. There is a lot of conflict with the Dynamo where they're playing at the same time or they're overlapping at the same time, i.e., the first home game. We play at 7:30 against Louisville, but Dynamo play at 8:30 against Colorado in Colorado. So that's going to draw some people away to watch the Dynamo game. But I'll be at the Dash game for sure. So and then we'll just see if we can make it to the end of the Dynamo game over at Pitch or something like that. But yeah, man, curious schedule. I'll look forward to it and see how we can go. There's nothing that really stands out like a run of games that dang, that's just going to be brutal and tough. And I don't know what we'll do, and no stretch of road games, no stretch of home games that are out of the ordinary. So typical schedule. So now I'm ready for the season to start. Skip preseason. Let's go.
no, yeah. The other thing I also wanted to add about the schedule is that the one thing I was looking forward to the most when it came to the schedule is if there were going to be like any dates to clash with Dynamo games, kind of like the double headers back to back. And obviously, those are pretty rare because it's definitely like a logistics nightmare.
Yeah.
And but I did notice that there's going to be at least 3 dates or like 3 weekends where both Dynamo and Dash are going to be playing at Shell Energy Stadium. So that the following day. So either
Uh,
the Dynamo
uh,
play on a day, and the next day is going to be Dash or vice versa.
I
And
think
I
I
actually have the
think
dates right here.
yeah, I think two of
Yeah,
those are Dash for Friday and Dynamo Saturday.
yeah. So, because we do have Dynamo playing St. Louis City on May 4th, and Casey Curran on May 5th,
That's
and that same
Saturday,
month we
Sunday.
do have and that same month we do have also Dash playing Portland Thorns on the 17th and FC Dallas on the 18th. That's gonna be a big weekend. That's gonna be insane.
That one right there is a Friday, Saturday. So that one's gonna be fun there, right there. Damn.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to take the day off for that one because it's insane. I want to be for both games.
It's just their allowed
And
return day.
Yeah.
And you know what's perfect? See if I can catch her in the hallways after the game for a little interview.
Yes. No, yeah, I will be definitely down for that. And the last date, it's not gonna be until August. It's gonna be Dash playing Orlando Pride, and the 24th, the Dynamo facing Toronto FC. So my goal is to make it to those because it's those are definitely rare, and I want to make it as many games as possible.
That's a Friday, Saturday again.
Yeah,
So hell yeah, see yeah, 2 Friday, Saturday. So good, some good Friday games, but they're 7 o'clock. So I gotta work my work week out to where I stay late a few days early in the week and then leave early on Friday, and will leave directly from work and go straight to the game. And of course, I work a mile from that, less than a mile from the house. So technically, I will probably run home. I will grab my stuff and then hop in the car and fly to friggin' Houston so I can get to the game on time. It's just
yeah, and pray
crazy.
for no traffic because sometimes, yeah, those roads over there get ugly. But those
Oh
are
yeah.
kind of uncommon. But yeah,
Oh yeah, for sure. That one, there's no need to hurry up and get there for pregame. So I'm just trying to make it to kickoff. So I get to kick off and I'll go get in the press box and get to watching.
yeah. And the other piece of news we have to talk about, this is coming from Theo Lloyd Hughes, a friend of the show. Like he did the season review with us last year. He broke the news a couple weeks ago involving the Dash adding a new technical director to the club, or his name is Pablo Piñones-Arce. He was a former player that he's currently the head coach for Hammarby, which is a club in Sweden. And this took me by surprise, in the sense that they obviously with the way they communicate things, we are pretty much left not left, or rather, we don't know anything. So, but the fact that Theo broke this news definitely took me by surprise, particularly the name as well. And Pablo Piñones Arce, he's actually a former player that from Sweden that he did not feature for the national team, but he participated in the youth leagues and also played in the Swedish top flight. And obviously, it follows the trend of the club just constantly upgrading positions or creating new ones that the club never had. And this one, obviously, being the first technical director for the club, is big. And we're still looking forward to the announcement. I'm sure it's going to be a matter of time. But how are you feeling, OSU?
Hey, I like this. This is the Asher for the Dash. So if
Yeah.
Asher's working for the Dynamo, this will make more sense and it'll give uh, Alex Singer uh, somebody else to lay on to for getting good information and trying to find players and recruit players and search for players and sign players and just improve the team as well. So it's definitely a teamwork thing. So I'm all for it. I like it. It's definitely helped on the Dynamo side of it. They never had one. Asher was our first, and it's been working out great. Now the Dash never had one. Here we go. Here's our first, and I think he'll fit in. So let's see what we can do, man, and bring some European players over.
And just to read an excerpt from the piece that Theo shared to break the news, uh, GM Alex Singer for Dash is overseeing a major infrastructural overhaul of the Dash this offseason, with Pinones Arce's new role being one of several that she has carved out this year. And obviously, this comes out after Fern Alonso came in as the head coach. They haven't responded to a comment yet, but like I said previously, it's going to be a matter of time until they announce it. I'm sure it's gonna be announced by next week or something like that. And yeah, obviously, like we said previously, this is like the season where Alex Singer has to prove us wrong, because last year was definitely not ideal. Like even though having like the best defense in the league is a good thing, we still didn't get into playoffs, and just a matter of how we went out was extremely disappointing. And they need a product, and obviously having a technical director to have an outlook on things down the road, it's ideal. and I'm not gonna say no to having a technical director of the club that is focused on the dash, because that's the thing they need the most right now. And Fernando Alonso obviously working hand in hand. Well, um, but rather Fernando Alonso working along with Alex Singer, kind of like their same relationship with like Pat Onstad and Ashley Mellison. We needed that specific for Dash, because they need a project and they need it now.
That's why I say, like, I still think there's another player coming in, but we'll see. And it's going to have something to do with this guy that's coming in, and he maybe has something to do with it, or have his hands on it. But yeah, it's just a win-win for the club. So yeah, look, it's going to be a bonus. It's going to help the club in the long run. Which, like I said, I kind of like a lot of NWSL teams have been making a lot of good improvements this year, and I feel like the Dash have been they fell a little bit behind, even though they've been making improvements, and then they went heavy with the draft. So I kind of want to make sure we stay up to par with the rest of the league, and let's one playoff game in our history. So that means we've only made the playoffs once in our history. So come on, we gotta we
So
gotta
yeah,
make
and don't
sure
remind me of
that
that game. Don't
yeah.
remind me of that game, because the main reason we need more playoff games is to like forget the first one, because I don't want to talk about it.
Yeah. We still. I'm pretty sure you still got the same memory view that I have, just from standing right there
hundred
behind the
percent.
goal, from the goal that she gave up, and like, oh my god, like, oh, no. But yeah,
100%. Yeah.
yeah. So but yeah, so I'm ready for the season. Let's do it. Look forward to it. Got the players, got the roster. Let's see. Somebody else will probably show up, and I don't know if it'll be a big one or if it'll be a death piece. Curious to see what that'll be, because we still got to find out what our roster is going to look like. Do we have our right back on the team right now, or do we need to go get one still? And then, like you said, schedule's out. We're still curious to see what this in-season tournament's going to be with. It says with international teams, so is it going to be like Leagues Cup where we're playing just Mexican teams, or are we going to bring some teams over from Europe to come over? So I haven't checked their schedule just to check to see if there's a break in any of the European teams scheduled, to see if that's even feasible. But it's probably just going to be USA versus the Liga MX female version, and which will be fun. I mean, interesting. Besides missing some of those good players off to the Olympic Games. So, but exciting times. We're ready to go, and we'll see what this season brings us, man.
Starting March 23. That's the date. You gotta show up. Mark it down on your calendar. Buy tickets. We'll be there.
Yeah,
I'll be
yeah,
there as media. Oh, she's gonna be there as media, but we'll be there.
yeah,
So mark it
yeah.
down and go to it. Support the ladies.
Let's go, bro. Let's do it.
Yeah,
Season on.
yeah, guys, and that's gonna do it for this one. Thank you so much for tuning in as always, and staying loyal.
Pages.